I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called a wrestling hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that's without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And Fro, we survived Summerslam weekend, and I think it's safe to say it went a lot better than we thought it would.
Bonsoir.
Uh-oh, our Frenchman. We've lost our Frenchman. Hello, Fro. Uh-oh. We've lost our Frenchman. We've lost the French. Sacre bleu.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, I don't have to do this gimmick, was my point.
No, you don't. Thank goodness. So, this week on the show, we are going to review NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and we're going to review SummerSlam. We're going to give our thoughts on both of those shows. There is some news, not too much, but there is an interesting news that I'll bring up a little later on.
One show was definitely better than the other.
Well, I will agree to disagree, I guess. Well, I mean, one was better, but I'm not saying I'm not gonna say like the other one. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get to it.
Oh, SummerSlam was not as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh no, definitely not. It wasn't.
I had absolutely no expectations for SummerSlam, and actually they kind of surprised me a little.
Mm-hmm. They exceeded expectations, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Now I do want to say real quick, before we get into it, I owe an apology to our listeners because we had promised you guys a post SummerSlam report after the show had ended. Unfortunately, Steve, who was going to do this with me, his computer sort of went out on him. So,
Oh no.
Yeah. So we're going to try the post show again in the future. So that's why there was no post show, and I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Wanted to apologize to everybody.
Oh yeah, and if you want to hear a post show, you can listen to that on another digital system.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one. That was what, like a
That was
40-minute segment?
50 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot to talk about. It really
It was really fun.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of people on the call. Yeah, really nice.
It was. All right, let's get into the news, and let's start off with something that we talked about a few weeks ago, and that is there's going to be an episode of The Toys That Made Us on wrestling action figures. We had talked about this a few weeks ago. Well, how would you like to be possibly on the show? If you have any of these collections, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah. If you are interested, you can send them an email, toysubmissions@gmail.com, and they're looking for people who have, pictures, like have tons of wrestling figures, possessions, descriptions. And if you get on, your collection will be shown at the end of that episode. So, and of course, this is not only for wrestling, it's also for the other episodes they're going to do this year, or this season, of My Little Pony, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Power Rangers. So, now, you see, if I hadn't sold those figures on eBay, I'd consider it. But oh well.
It could be worse.
I could. Again, if you want to check them out, toysubmissions@gmail.com is the place to go. Speaking of toys, did you hear that wrestlers are going to have another podcast coming out?
No.
Although this one might not be too bad.
Okay, who is it this time?
Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Okay.
They have started the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. And as a matter of fact, their first episode is already up. And you can get...
What is that sound?
Oh, that's the washer.
Oh. I was like, what?
That's okay.
Okay. Yes.
Their first podcast is up, but you can... And they put new ones up every Friday, so you can listen to them after you listen to us, wherever you listen to your wonderful podcasts. So, just thought I'd bring that up. Thought it was very interesting. I mean, at least it's two people that we like.
Yes.
It's not like, Roman Reigns is doing a podcast.
I would listen to a Roman Reigns podcast.
Now, actually, now that I bring that up,
oh my gosh.
and I only know this because I have nephews and they're young kids and stuff. Roman Reigns is going to make a guest appearance on a cartoon coming up in the near future. He's going to voice a character on the Disney Junior show, Elena of Avalor. And they're not sure if this is going to be a one-time thing or if it's going to be like a recurring character where he comes on every once in a while, but...
And I have absolutely no clue what you're talking about. What is this?
Yeah, well, it's a kids show on Disney Junior. It's like an educational show. Okay. So. What is it going to educate people to? Talk about promos in the ring, or no, is it wrestling abilities, or? I doubt that. I doubt that as well because he has none. Ooh. If I do watch that episode, which I doubt, but if I do, I'll let you guys know how it is. Okay, let's get to New Japan. This piece of news was sort of expected. Hiromu Takahashi has relinquished the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title because of his neck injury. Ew. So what they are doing is they are going to have a mini tournament, a 4-man tournament, and they're going to crown the next champion on October the 8th. So what they have done is the 4 men that they have selected, are the last 4 junior heavyweight champions before Takahashi.
Oh. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
It is. So, on September 23rd, Kushida is going to face Bushi in one match. And on September 30th, which is going to be the next New Japan in the U.S. show, Will Ospreay is going to face Marty Scurll.
That is going to be one match.
And the winners of those 2 matches will face each other on October the 8th to crown the new junior heavyweight champion.
So here's the question for you that follows this.
Okay.
Who's going to win?
Ooh. I'm gonna say Ospreay. It's tough.
Okay.
It's tough. I want to say Kushida, but I think it's going to be Ospreay.
I want to say Kushida as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that.
But those 2 matches are going to be very good matches. I mean, they definitely are.
Yeah.
That'll be... those 2 will be fun to watch. Sticking with New Japan, and more in particular that event, the September 30th event, of course, it'll be on Access TV, but they have announced that they're going to have a substitute commentator for that show, because it's been Jim Ross and Josh Barnett that has been doing those shows.
Yes.
For however long it's been.
Oh, it's been pretty long.
Yeah. Well, because of reasons out of his hands, Josh Barnett will not be able to be at the September 30th show in California.
Okay, let me guess who it is going to be.
Okay.
Is it a female?
No.
Okay, so it's a male.
It is a male.
He's going to be pretty known, I'm going to guess.
Yes.
JR. Todd Phillips.
I think he's...
Ah, that would be funny.
Oh,
Todd Phillips in the New Japan. You heard it here. No, who is it?
Kevin Kelly. Which is an excellent choice because Kevin Kelly...
That is an excellent choice.
Kevin Kelly is the voice of the U.S. or the English commentary for New Japan when they are in Japan. So that's a very good selection there, I think. So
that is perfect. And I think they will work good together.
Mm-hmm. They will. I mean, they've had it... they've known each other for a long time, so I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Like I told you, I don't think we recorded this, but I watched on either shows. I told you that I watched International House of Wrestling, as I called it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not called House of Wrestling.
The World of Sport one.
World of Sport, yes. And Sub Carl is one of their announcers, and she can't announce.
So Cal Val, yep.
She's awful. she's maybe the worst thing about that show. She's awful. Where did they come up with her?
Well, she was an Impact for a while.
But not as a commentator.
No, not as a commentator.
She's even worse on the microphone than she was at wrestling, and that's saying something.
I mean, she's a sweet young lady. She is. But she, might not be the best commentator.
Stu Bennett, everybody.
Yep.
Stu Bennett.
Stu Bennett is also there. If you don't know who he is, go look him up.
Yeah, Wade Barrett.
Oh. I was going to actually have them look it up, but oh well. Anyway. No.
But it is interesting to see that New Japan kind of break the wall between those two shows, like one. Yeah, I like that.
I know that there are some episodes of that show out. I gotta watch one to see if it's good or as good.
What show?
World of Sport.
Oh, World of Sport is fun. They have Greedo in it. Greedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, the other day, I've watched this match from England. Fro, I'm not going to say it was the worst match I ever saw, but I'm glad it went the 2+ minutes that it did. For those of you in England, you will probably know who I'm referring to in a minute. It's Giant Haystacks against Big Daddy. And Big Daddy is Humpty Dumpty with arms and legs. And he's a professional wrestler.
Humpty Dumpty.
And I'm sure a lot of our British listeners would agree with me on that.
Oh, that is the best. That has to be the best.
He was.
Sorry. Oh my God.
But I will say, even back in the 80s, the British really got into their wrestling then. They really did.
But talking about pay-per-views, are we going to talk about the pay-per-view that's going to happen tonight?
What?
You have no clue.
No,
You have no clue.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Logan brothers?
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yes.
They're fighting each other tonight. Is that correct?
Yes. KSI, one of the biggest British YouTubers, against Logan Paul. one of the worst human beings in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm pulling it up right now.
They have actually a pretty nice card tonight. There are some good fights. We can talk about it really fast. Let's see if we have it here. I have it here. Yes. Call Me Ham versus Drissery Jeremy. Don't ask me. Cara versus Scars.
Okay.
Facey Sensei versus Overflow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. And a Son of Gib versus Jay Swigler.
Okay.
Momo versus Rashi HD.
Well, I'm all for Momo.
Momo, yeah. And then they have JMX versus Coach Richard and DJ versus Jake Paul. Then KSI versus Logan Paul.
Well, according to The Mirror, all these fights are 6-round fights.
Yes.
Now, now let me ask this: are all of these people that are on this card, are they in any way like YouTubers and social media? Oh man. Okay.
All of them.
How is it that the British can get this right in setting up a boxing event with all these social media celebrities and the freaking US can't?
I don't know. Let's talk 2 seconds about popular culture. We usually don't use that, but I don't know if you heard that Stormy Daniels was going to go on the British celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, I think you had talked to me about that, and she pulled out at the last minute.
Last second, yeah, they even had her VR. And for people that's under a rock, she's the one that was inferred in some sex scandal with our president of America.
That's right.
And right before she went in, she heard that Melliford, is that his name? Got his correction, and he was the one that paid her the money. The hush money, the shut up money. So,
right.
And he was going to jail, and that happened, I think, like maybe 6 hours before she was going to go inside the house. So,
wow. All right. Well, I have my own.
But yeah, KSI versus Logan Paul. I really hope KSI wins.
Well, I have my own bit of pop culture news to talk briefly. Did you hear what Nicki Minaj said?
I did.
She went to the MTV Music Awards. For those who did not hear, and this may be blasphemous for a lot of people, she called herself the new Harriet Tubman.
Yep.
Jesus. I just...
Diluted.
Okay, first of all, Nicki Minaj is nothing more than an overrated musician who only got over because of her looks. Her music is not that good. She threatens people that don't like her or talk to her. It's like, oh, what been good, Miley? Like gonna kill somebody. And then she's got all these implants in her. And then she calls herself the new Harriet Tubman. Well, if she's the new Harriet Tubman, then I'm the new George Washington, damn it. So, crazy. Why would... I'm just curious, bro. Why would you compare yourself...
You know that my anaconda want. My anaconda want. My anaconda want. Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say, why would you compare yourself to an American hero? Like, I know you wouldn't go out in public comparing yourself to a Norwegian hero. You know? It's just... And the other thing, and I'm going to get this off my chest real quick, because I talked to my best friend the other day.
Oh, when did you talk about to me?
Well, I meant U.S. side.
Oh.
Not European. No, I was saying how today's music sucks. Because, and this is my opinion, because the performers today, I feel, do not focus on the music. They don't focus on the writing of the songs. They focus on the performance act. They focus on, like, the characters and stuff. It's
right.
Like, oh, that's great. You have a personality. Where's the songs?
It's a little like, who was I thinking about? Paul McCartney. Mm-hmm. Paul McCartney comes out and, like, plays a lot of, like, Beatles song
right
on his like, and people like scream, play some Wings. Nobody cares about Wings.
Well, they had a couple good songs. They had some good songs.
Okay, if you had to go to one concert with the Beatles or the Wings, what would you go to?
Oh, Beatles, no contest.
Yeah.
No contest.
But it's a little like people complain about the weirdest things on the internet, so...
Yeah, that's true. No, so, that was, for Fro and I, our pop culture discussion of the week.
Yes, anyway, wrestling.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up, and then we're going to talk about the weirdest story of the week. This is not the weird story, but I thought this was very cool. The NWA, this year, the promotion is turning 70 years old. And
wow.
They have announced on Thursday that on October the 21st, they will be having an pay-per-view to celebrate 70 years of the NWA. This event will be in Nashville, Tennessee, and it will be streamed on Fight TV. So, as of right now, there's only two things we know about this show. The NWA World Heavyweight title will be defended on that show. Plus, for those of you here in the U.S., they are bringing back the National Heavyweight title. A new champion will be crowned there. Basically, that's the equivalent to the United States title.
Okay.
So, like I said, it'll be on October 21st, and it will stream live on Fight TV. I might get that one. I might watch that show. Because there may not be much going on that week, wrestling-wise. So. Alright. Now to our weird story of the week. Although it's a happy story, but it's also a weird story. And it involves a wrestling legend. This story was reported on August 23rd by the CBC. Bret Hart received a rare honor Thursday morning, receiving a Blackfoot name from a Siksika elder at Mount Royal University. The former professional wrestler was given his indigenous name at a private event in a teepee on the Southwest Calgary campus that included a smudging ceremony, face painting, and a drum group. His new name, are you ready? Is Ii Katabina, which means courageous chief. Would you like me to spell it for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. It is Iyikitapinna. And it is pronounced Ii Katabina. When interviewed, Bret said, "You know, my dad ran a lot of different shows on different reservations across Alberta and Saskatchewan and British Columbia. I know that this day would have been special to him. I think if you live on the prairies, you understand a lot of the hardships that the First Nation people have endured through all these years." He goes on to say, "It was kind of a lost moment, and I feel that I'm here today to kind of pick up that gauntlet and bring it back to life, and I can feel that both my mother and my father would be very proud of this moment." So, Bret Hart is an honorary Blackfoot Indian. I mean, it's a pretty cool honor, but it's pretty, it's weird in a way.
It's
And Bret Hart takes, things very seriously. I'm sure he takes this one to heart. No pun intended.
Yes.
But Courageous Chief, that's actually a pretty good name. If you... So we'll just call him Courageous Chief Bret Hart from now on, instead of Ii Katabina. So, but you know what, though? I was thinking this, and this is such an American thing I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. If we could get Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels together for one more match, we could really have the Indian versus the Cowboy.
One.
What do we think?
No.
No? Alright,
Nope.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Well then. Sorry about that. We had a special delivery drop in. I apologize for that, folks. I got a picture. I got a drawing from one of my nephews.
Oh.
And there's a message on here. Would you like me to read it?
Sure.
It says, "Hi, my name is Bill, and I love stinky socks."
I didn't know.
For the record, I do not love stinky socks.
Are you sure?
How dare that little child lie to me? I mean, it's a good picture, but... Alright, so now that we've done all the news, let's get into the reviews. Because we have two shows that we're going to talk about. Let's start with the really good show, which was NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4.
It was.
It was a really good show.
Maybe not surprisingly the best show of the weekend, but
definitely not
definitely
surprising.
No, but yeah. I had so much trouble thinking of like what was the best match here, and there's two matches here that is match of the year qualities.
Yeah. So, for those of you who are new listening to this for the first time, what we do when we discuss a pay-per-view is we'll briefly discuss the matches, what we like and stuff. We give our rating, and then I will tell you guys what Dave Meltzer thought of the matches, and also CBS Sports and ESPN thought of these matches. Because, they're wrestling experts, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Actually, you know what? Real quick before we do, I want to give a quick shout-out to one of our newest members that joined our Facebook group recently. I want to give a quick shout-out to Dee Carter. And she came out after, we welcomed her into the group. She has been a wrestling fan for 45 years.
Wow.
So I can't wait to hear her expertise on a lot of things wrestling. Okay, so let's get to it. Opening match was the NXT Tag Team title match. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong against Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. This was a good opening match.
It was. Is it the worst match of the night, though?
No.
No. But it's...
there is one, but it's not like god awful.
But I thought this was the beginning, okay beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little like, there's something about starting a pay-per-view with the tag team match that I feel sometimes doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a little like waiting to see your favorite wrestler getting tagged in and see them competing in different situations back and forward, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those teams that was in this match was really good. And the result was really good.
Yeah, I thought it told a good story. I think the right team won at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
I really enjoyed this match. O'Reilly and Strong retained the titles. After the match, War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe came out to attack the champs, so they're going to pretty much be the next in line for a title shot. I gave this an A-.
I gave this a B.
All right. Meltzer gave this 4.5 stars. CBS Sports also gave this an A-, and ESPN gave this 4 3/4 out of 5.
Ooh.
So pretty good grade, I think, to start it off. Next match was EC3 versus Velveteen Dream, and can we first talk about the tights that the Dream had on? Oh my goodness.
I like those.
Oh,
I like those jeans, though.
Yes. If you have not seen it by now, on the back of Velveteen Dream's tights was a message that said, "Call me up, Vince." Oh, that was so great. Oh, I loved it. This was my least favorite match of the night, but
it was mine as well, and that's so sad.
Yeah.
No, but it's a little like sad when this is the worst match of the night. It's like, but here's the strange thing. Like, I don't even blame the wrestlers. It's two wrestlers I really enjoy. When it comes to EC3, has he become a little worse, or is it just me?
I don't know. It's tough to say. Maybe I don't know if he's coasting based on his reputation, when he was in Impact, or what. I'm not really sure. I mean, he wasn't lazy in the match. Don't get me wrong. None of these guys were lazy. No. But it just didn't.
But it felt really like Velvet Dream had to carry the match, to say it that way.
Yeah. But I really, really loved the ending to that match.
Oh, so good.
It is so dangerous because Velveteen Dream hits a Death Valley driver on the apron. And then, with EC3 on the apron, hits an elbow from the top rope, and that gets the 3 count. Now, that was a very creative ending. I really like the ending to that.
Yeah.
I gave it a B+.
I gave this a B as well.
All right. Meltzer gave this 2 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B-, and ESPN gave it 3 1/4 out of 5. But I think we should say real quick, the most important thing is that Velveteen Dream won on an NXT pay-per-view.
Yes.
He had not
Yes.
won one until that night.
Yeah. And it was because of the trunks.
Yeah. Maybe we need more of those in the future.
Oh, spoiler alert! He didn't get called up
No,
on Monday or Tuesday.
He did not. Although they're still this week.
Yeah,
could
I was a little. Let's talk 2 seconds about it after we're done with SummerSlam. But
Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown after SummerSlam was pretty let down.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get into that after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Next up,
Oh.
the North American title, Ricochet challenging Adam Cole.
This was the best match of the night.
Ooh, man. If it hadn't been for the main event, I would agree with you.
No, this was actually better than the main event.
This was a really, really good match.
Yeah, no, I don't care about what you said there. I'm sticking with it. This was match of the night.
These two could probably put on 100 matches in NXT and WWE, and every time it's still going to be very, very good. A lot of near falls, a lot of, great action, great moves. The end was sick when Ricochet did that Hurricane Rana leaping over the top rope onto the floor, and then he hit the 630 to win. I honestly didn't expect Ricochet to win. We had talked about it last week.
No.
But it comes off looking so good.
It is a surprising win, and also I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I give it as high score as I do. But this is an A+++++ match for me.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I gave this match an A. This was just really, really good. Meltzer gave this 4.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A, and ESPN gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So we're all pretty close, I think, on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next match, which was the surprise of the night for me, the NXT Women's Title match, Kairi Sane challenging Shayna Baszler for the title, was way better than I ever thought this match was going to be.
Yes. And I think it's deserved it, funny enough.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
both women busted their butts in this match.
Right.
And I'm not saying that neither one of them are good. They are, but I did not expect this to be as good of a match as it was. And I think
No.
the story is, Shayna just could not put Kyrie away. She did every single thing possible to put her away, and she couldn't do it. And then Kyrie had the 2 elbow drops in a row, and you'd think that was the end of the match, and it wasn't. But the finish, the finish was so great.
It was really, really good.
Because Kyrie goes for the elbow for the 3rd time, and Shayna gets the knees up, and then Baszler locks in that sleeper chokehold, but Kyrie reverses it into a pin to get the 3 count. It was so out of nowhere. It was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah. No, that's what I would say as well. It was one of those matches where I went to it with absolutely none expectations at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they both surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought with Kylie Ren winning that we would get a call up, but again, it seems like I was wrong.
I gave this match an A-.
I gave this an A.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B+, and ESPN gave it 3 3/4 out of 5.
Nice.
And then there is the main event of the show. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, last man standing match for the NXT title. What else could be said about this rivalry? Before we get into the match, this rivalry that hasn't already been said.
No, I thought this was so good, and with the ending being that his own idea of the handcuff will come back to haunt him, and that is the way he loses the match. I found that hysterically funny.
I thought it was actually pretty smart, because it's
extremely smart.
It's Gargano.
Yeah.
And his emotions got the best of him again.
Yep.
There are so many.
No,
good spots.
we totally agree on this, and I think it's not a bad match. No, don't get me wrong.
Right.
And what I'm going to say now, it's going to sound like I mean it's a bad match, but according to my feelings about this, I had higher expectations for this than I had for the North American title.
Okay.
And I think that's the reason why the North American title wins, in my view.
The match of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good argument. I thought this was the best match because I thought this told the better story. As far as action-wise goes, obviously Ricochet and Adam Cole was the better match. But if you go by what match told a better story from beginning to end, to me, this was by far the better match because it's these two guys doing just about anything they can to basically destroy the other guy. I mean, at one point, Gargano had two tables set up, and he had one of the tables upside down where the legs were standing up. And I've never seen that in a wrestling match. I mean, obviously the North American title match and this match were the best matches of the night, but I gotta go with this one. And I gave this match an A+.
I gave this an A+ as well.
All right. Meltzer gave this match 4.5 stars. CBS Sports gave this an A, and ESPN, and this may be a first, gave this a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
I don't think they have given a 5 out of 5 match yet. So let's go to our polls here in our Facebook group. What did people think about this show? Well, most people gave this show a B.
Oh no, this is an A.
Yeah, some people gave it an A. One person gave it a D. This is an A show. This is an A show to me. Favorite match from this show. Actually, each match got a vote, not surprisingly. But it is a two-way tie. I will break the tie in a minute. Or actually, it'll end up being a tie because you said your favorite match was Adam Cole and Ricochet.
It is.
Mine is Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah.
And least favorite match, our Facebook group said EC3 versus Velveteen Dream. Okay, this is going to surprise people. Some voted Ciampa and Gargano as their least favorite match.
Wow.
Ooh. And I like one of our Facebook friends' response here. Such a hard question. Least favorite match. And it really was. It really, really was. So, now we go from what happened Saturday night to what happened Sunday night with SummerSlam. And this actually, I didn't tell you this, Fro. This event was the last event that I put grades on in my little notebook where I keep my notes on.
Okay.
So this is its retirement party right here.
Aww.
It's done well. It's been a good notebook. All right, so we're gonna get into SummerSlam right now, and we start with the pre-show matches. First up was the mixed tag match, Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega against Rusev and Lana.
No surprise here. This was not the best pre-show of the match. Pre-show match of the night.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was okay.
It was what it was.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular. It was to advance a storyline, and then they had a rematch on SmackDown. And I'll say this, what's weird with both matches, the one here at SummerSlam and the one on Tuesday, was each finish made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sunday, Vega pinning Lana and her trying to cheat. And if you see, Vega was trying to put her feet on the ropes, but she's so small she couldn't really get to it. And I feel bad for her because she's a sweet lady. She really is. And then on Tuesday, Aiden English helps Rusev and Lana win that match, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for this match, I'm going to give it a C-.
I will give this a D+.
All right. Meltzer gave this match 1.25 star. CBS Sports gave this a C-, and ESPN does not rank kickoff matches because they're a bunch of lazy bums. Next match was for the Cruiserweight title, Cedric Alexander defending against Drew Gulak. This was the best of the three, I thought.
Oh, this is definitely the best of the pre-show matches. They worked so good together.
Mm-hmm. And this got the most time in the pre-show matches. I'm looking at the notes here. This went 10 minutes, 39 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it should go a little bit longer, but it was really good for what it was.
I think one was random TV shows.
What the?
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. There were a few times where I thought Gulak was going to win, and in the nice reversal into a cradle at the end for Alexander getting the win, it made me believe that Drew Gulak's not done being in the title picture. I think he's still going to be in it. So, I gave this a B-.
Yeah, I gave this a B- as well.
This was one of the better matches, I thought. Meltzer gave this 3.25 star. CBS gave it a C+. And then our final kickoff match was for the Raw Tag Team titles. The B Team defending against the Revival.
Definitely the worst of the pre-show matches.
It's close.
You're the only one that liked this match.
No. It's the other tag title match that I really
liked. That's the other tag title, yes.
This match, the Raw tag title match, at least I thought had a smart ending.
The ending was good.
Because the ending, the Revival, I mean, they've got the match won. I don't remember which one. They had an inside cradle on Axel, and Bo Dallas clotheslines the other member of Revival on the top rope. He falls backwards, and because of falling backwards, the momentum switched, and the momentum was so hard enough that the cradle was reversed into Axel having the pin to get the 3 count in the victory. I gave this a C. Based on the ending. Fro? Hello, Fro. No, he's not asleep. We'll get his thoughts in a minute. Meltzer gave this 1.5 stars. CBS Sports gave this a C. So let's try it again. Fro! Hello, Fro! We have lost Fro temporarily, but we're going to call him back right. Oop. Hey! Hello!
We lost connection there.
Yeah, just briefly. So, what grade would you give on the Raw Tag Title match?
C.
Okay. That's the grade I gave it.
Yeah.
So let's get to the main show. Intercontinental title was the opening contest. Dolph Ziggler defending the Intercontinental title against Seth Rollins. Ambrose in the corner of Rollins, and McIntyre in the corner of Ziggler.
And I asked you, what the fuck were they doing out there? Because they did absolutely nothing.
Nothing until about the end.
They were just standing there.
They were, but this was a good opening match.
Oh, yeah.
This was a solid opening match. A lot better than the match they had at Extreme Rules. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of near falls, just good back and forth action. Really was. And then Rollins ends up hitting the buckle bomb and then the super kick to the curb stomp on the Ziggler to regain the Intercontinental title, which was a little bit of a shock, but I thought it went really good. I gave this an A-.
Ooh, that is a little too high for me. B-?
Okay. I mean, it wasn't my favorite match of the night, but there's gonna be another one later that when we talk about it. Meltzer gave this 3.75 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B+, and ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5. Alright, now we're going to get into some controversy for our next match.
Yes.
It is the Bludgeon Brothers, or the B-Bros, as we're calling them, defending the titles against New Day. So, Fro, I'm going to let you have the floor on this one.
This did not work. This was a terrible, terrible, terrible match. I love the B-Bros.
Mm-hmm.
I love the New Day, but them together is like kryptonite. This was so boring from start to finish. This was my least favorite match of the night. Maybe if it hadn't had to be the something later.
All right, I will play devil's advocate on this one. I enjoyed this match.
I know you did.
Yeah. I thought it told a good story because you didn't have Kofi in this match. It's Big E and Xavier. And when Xavier's in this kind of a situation, on most occasions, New Day is going to lose the match. But what I liked about the match was how early on Harper and Rowan were being destructive and they were trying to take the team out. But they just could not do it. And New Day, it just seemed like we're finding every way possible to get these guys down and, to try and win the match. Now, the ending, I'll give you a little credit on that one, because the ending was Rowan with the mallet getting disqualified, which means New Day wins, but they don't win the titles. Other than that, I was invested into this match. But I will say the match they had Tuesday night, where the titles changed hands, was the better match.
Oh, definitely.
And the reason...
Oh, by far.
And the reason, more than likely, we had the title change on Tuesday was because Eric Rowan had a torn tricep. So he's going to have surgery, or he probably has already had surgery, and he's going to be on the shelf for a while. So Luke Harper is on his own again, this poor man who is such an incredibly talented big guy. You got to feel bad for him.
Oh.
As far as the match goes, I give this a B-.
I gave this a D-.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave this a B-, and ESPN gave this 3.25 out of 5. Next match. This was one of the more anticipated matches of the night. Kevin Owens against Braun Strowman. The Money in the Bank contract was on the line.
This is so hard to talk about because I had so high expectations.
I think a lot of people did.
And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see those two wrestle. What we did get was definitely not that.
Nope. Squash number 1. I think we're going to call this one. Because...
Such a disappointed...
Because all it is Owens got ran over twice.
Yeah.
And then he got choke slammed, and then power slam in the ring. Braun wins.
Right.
Minute 53. That's the time of the match. I think I could buy stuff for $1.53, but only because it is Braun and Kevin, I gave this a D+.
Yeah. I love squash matches when they work.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this worked.
Okay.
That's why it's getting a B+.
All right. Well, there's another one that happens later on where it definitely worked.
Yes.
Meltzer gave this half a star.
Wow.
Now, again, it's his opinion, so our opinions are definitely different. CBS Sports gave this a C, and ESPN gave it 3/4 out of 5.
Okay.
Next match, the triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's title. Carmella defending against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. This was a good match. I'm not going to lie. It was a good...
Yeah, other than the result, I'm pretty okay with this.
This might have been Carmella's best match, but it's probably because of the other two that were involved in the match. But, yeah, all these women, they went in, did a good job. Charlotte wins the title. But post-match is where it went really good, and I sort of didn't see this coming. Or at least not on this show.
And how funny is it that she does this, and everybody thinks it's the most amazing thing?
Oh my gosh!
And when they come to SmackDown, she's taken in as a fucking queen.
Mm-hmm.
I love this.
Oh man, I mean, Becky Lynch. Because let's think about it. For the last year and a half, Becky Lynch has somehow been screwed out of every major thing. Be it the Money in the Bank, be it a title match, and she just loses it, and it comes off fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, it comes off great. And in the again, it's like what happened with Bayley when she had that fight with Sasha. I don't think WWE got the reaction that they wanted, but it was well deserved. I gave this a C. It was a good match. Better than I thought it was going to be.
I see.
Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B+, and ESPN gave it 3.25 out of 5.
Cool.
So then we get to our 5th match. It's the halfway point of the show, and it's the WWE title match. AJ Styles defends against Samoa Joe. Oh my God. What a match this was.
This is the match of the night for me.
Hands down.
And it is so funny because if you listen to last week's show, I said this is the match I'm looking forward to the least. I said I'm not looking forward to this at all. This is going to be a shit match, I said. Last week I said that. I take all of that back. This was such a good match.
Oh, this was...
Oh, holy hell, I wish they ended it with this match.
I will say this, because I've been a fan pretty much my entire life.
Right.
This may have been the best use of a disqualification ending I've ever seen.
Yep.
It is so good because, okay, Samoa Joe is an antagonizing son of a bitch. And he plays it off so good. So, AJ's wife and their daughter are at the show. Where the other kids are, I'm not really sure. They might be back in Georgia. I don't know. So Samoa Joe, before the match starts, introduces AJ's wife and daughter during the announcements of the match, which is good. Then these two have a great match. They go back and forth. They're trading moves for each other. At one point, when Samoa Joe hit like a Pele kick onto Styles, I thought Styles' head came off. That's how hard he hit it. And then the ending. Oh, the ending is so freaking good. Joe sends AJ to the steel steps. And I think we forgot to mention this also with Takeover and also with this show. There were some people who got legit cut open during the show. This was one of them. So Samoa Joe gets on the mic. He stands on one of the announce tables and he looks at AJ's wife and his daughter and he's like, "Yeah, you know how I said that Daddy was coming home? I don't think he's coming home tonight. He's not gonna be your daddy, but I'll be your new daddy." And that's
so good.
Oh, it was so good. And then AJ comes up and he just loses it. And he beats the crap out of Joe. And AJ eventually gets disqualified for using a steel chair. And I missed this when we watched it, but I got a chance to hear it a few days later. And I don't know if you heard it or not. AJ goes into the crowd. He goes to his wife and daughter. And his daughter looks at him and she goes, "Daddy, you're bleeding." How sweet is that?
Aww.
"Daddy, you're bleeding." So he leaves with wife and child. Fantastic match. Just a fantastic match. Great story told. Like I said, best use of a DQ finish I think I've ever seen. A-.
Oh, definitely a.
Yeah. Meltzer gave this 4.25 stars. CBS Sports gave this a B+. ESPN gave it 3.75 out of 5. That's a bit of a low rating, I think. But although, now, did you get a chance to watch the AJ interview on Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to see if you caught this real quick. Did you hear this one fan after Samoa Joe choked out Styles and he's on the mic? There's this one fan. It must have been a little boy. And he screams out, "I love you, Samoa! I love you, Samoa!" Not Samoa Joe, just Samoa. So he must love the entire country of Samoa Joe, or of Samoa. Oh, that was great. After we had an Elias performance that didn't happen, next match...
That's so sad.
It was, but it was good. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
Oh.
Another good match. Oh.
I was so looking forward to this.
They pulled off such a completely different match that I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes off good. And this may have been the most technical Miz has ever been in a wrestling match. And it just comes off so good. The whole match. And then the ending is really good. Because Maurice is out there in the front row. Maybe or maybe not with the baby. We're not sure.
I don't think it was.
I don't think so either. And Maurice gives Miz something. So Daniel goes for the dive. And Miz hits Daniel with a pair of brass knucks. And he pins Daniel right in the ring. A great finish for that match.
That's so good.
Because to me...
Loved it.
Oh, yeah. Because to me, it says, this is not over. They're going to meet again.
Oh, yeah.
You know. And we'll talk about probably within the next several weeks, what it's going to be. Because they did announce it. The mixed tag match for Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Which I honestly don't mind. There are some people who are like, really? This is stupid.
Yeah, I don't want it.
It's not a bad idea. Because the Lions were going to get involved eventually.
It is a terrible idea.
Oh.
It's a shit idea.
All right.
Yeah.
I gave this match a B.
Oh, this was B+ for me.
Meltzer gave this 3.75 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B, and ESPN gave it 3.5 out of 5. Then we come to this match, and no, this wasn't the match I forgot. It was still on the card. Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Or
Demon.
Yeah, we thought it was Finn Balor, but we got the Demon in such a great surprise.
And such a squash match that really actually worked.
This was the best squash match I think I've ever seen.
I'm going to rate this A+ already.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this.
Basically, you could just tell the whole match in Baron Corbin's face. When you saw that match, he's like, oh, so shit.
He looked so scared.
He did, and it was great. Because the surprise was great. We did not expect the Demon. It was great. You know what? I'm going to bump my grade up from what it originally was. I originally had it as a D+, but I'm going to bump it up to a C+.
Cool.
Because just the squash was just great. It made sense. Because, Baron Corbin's like, oh, Finn Balor's a little guy. Tiny Finn Balor. Blah, blah, blah. But when you pick on somebody and they have that demon, it was just great. So, yeah, I bump it up to a C+. Meltzer gave it 1 star. CBS Sports gave this a B. And ESPN gave it 1.25 out of 5. Then we go to the match that I completely forgot was on the card when we were watching this. Jeff Hardy challenging Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title. And I feel so bad that I forgot about this match.
Don't feel bad.
Because there were so many matches, and they were really good matches. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's still on the card. And then it's Nakamura and Hardy. I'm like, oh, crap. It's still going, It was a decent match. That's really all I got. It was a decent match. The problem is where it got put in the show.
This where it didn't work.
Yeah.
It just did not work.
It's just, to me, it was the placement of the card.
Yeah.
Because you have that match following the Demon returning.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan Miz. The WWE title match. Back to back to back. Nakamura wins, but I think we should talk about the funniest post-match we've ever seen. So after the match, Randy Orton's music plays. And Randy... Oh, this was so funny! Randy Orton...
Oh, so bad.
Randy Orton goes out to the ring, and it's like, oh my god, Randy Orton's here! What is he going to do to Jeff Hardy? He gets to the ring...
Absolutely nothing.
And then he goes back.
And it's so dramatic. It's like... This is like... Oh, fucking hell, I hate Randy Orton.
Oh. That was the funniest, thing. I think I've seen it in a long time. It's like, what in the world was that?
I'm sure his father is turning around in his grave. Oh, wait, he isn't dead, is he?
No. Well, his grandfather is.
That was the joke.
I know. I gave this match a C-.
I can't give it better than a D-.
Alright. Meltzer gave this 2 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C+. ESPN gave it 1.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
Then we go to the semi-main event. Alexa Bliss defending the Raw Women's title against Ronda Rousey.
I will tell you this. This was the match I would set my house on fire on. If
I'm glad you did it, by the way.
No, but the ending ruins this.
The post-match, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It does.
But it's an okay match. It's
Right.
it is the worst of the women matches if I think back to it actually.
Yeah, I'd agree with you to an extent because there was a lot of hype going into that match.
Yeah.
And basically it was catch Alexa Bliss, the game.
Yeah.
And once she got caught, it was game over, basically. So Ronda gets the win to become the new champion. And you know what? It's none of their fault. This is like Rousey's fifth match on television. I'm not going to blame them. It's just the match was so short, and you'd hyped this up for so long. The payoff should have been a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, and then you do what you do in the post-match.
Okay, so let's tell everyone. So Natalya comes in, which we're fine with, because she and Ronda, they're good friends. And then for no reason, the Bellas come out to celebrate. Because, the Bellas. Oh, yeah. Yep. The Bellas. I gave this a C-.
Yeah, I gave this a C- as well. And that was the match of the night. Yes, goodbye everybody!
No.
Wrestle on!
Hold on.
Wrestle on! No!
Meltzer,
that was the last match.
Meltzer gave this 2 stars.
Okay, yes.
CBS gave it a B. Okay.
Yes.
And ESPN gave it 1 3/4 out of 5.
Good. Last match of the night. Goodbye, everybody! Wrestle on!
Oh,
No?
Fro. No.
No? We have to talk about this last match?
We have to talk about this last match.
Really?
Really? Yep. Probably because of this match, it was, according to WWE, the most watched SummerSlam in history.
No. I promise you it wasn't because of this match.
Well, I think it's one of the main reasons.
No.
All right. Roman Reigns challenging Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Now, before the match even begins, Braun Strowman comes out. Makes sense. Because he had like a 2-minute match.
This was so good.
Oh, it really was.
I was so excited.
Now let me ask you this. Was your first thought that this was going to be a triple threat match?
Yeah, I thought, okay, cool. This is going to be a triple threat.
All right.
Can't wait for this.
So Braun gets on the mic, and he cuts a really good promo. And
Fantastic
he's saying...
promo.
No, he says...
No, it is a fantastic promo.
Yeah.
It was, really.
He says, everybody cashes in behind your back. I'm telling you, I'm doing this to your face. When this match is over, I'm cashing in. Whoever it is. So, he stands outside for the duration of the match. Reigns, right off the bat, hits 2 or 3 spears in a row to start the match. And my first thought was, oh my god, it's going to be Goldberg Survivor Series all over again. But Brock manages to get some offense in. And eventually, Roman gets thrown to the outside and he knocks Braun over. So Brock goes outside and he gets Strowman. He F5s him. And then he throws the briefcase basically 3/4 of the way across the stage. And then Brock gets a chair. Roman hits the spear on Lesnar. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns wins the Universal title. So, Roman's won the title. So we're thinking, okay, the people have not left. Because usually, when the last matches happen, everybody leaves, but the people are staying because, we're gonna get the cash in. We're gonna get the cash in. Credits come up, end of the show. That's the end of SummerSlam. I gave this a D.
This was an F minus.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Fro really loved this match. Yeah. One of the best matches I've ever seen.
And I'm going to say something that I heard on another podcast that I thought was pretty accurate. WWE lied at the end of the show. If you think about it. Because Braun said, I'm going to cash in at the end. And he didn't. So they had the fans hook, line, and sink. Falling into believing he's going to cash in when this is over. And we stayed, and the fans stayed, and it never happens. Meltzer gave this 2.5 stars. CBS Sports gave this a C. ESPN gave it a 3 out of 5.
So bad.
Yep. All right, so let's go to our grades. Steve actually was the one who beat me to posting the grades. Most people gave this show a B.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm agreeing with them. This was a B show.
Oh yeah.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. Let me say.
Oh yeah.
Some people gave this a C. One person gave it an A. Best match of the night. Very close contest. Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, right now the top vote getter. Then Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, and Daniel Bryan and Miz was third. I think we both agreed Joe and Styles was the best match, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so we agreed on that. Least favorite match. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be really easy for me. It's the main event.
Well, let me tell you how our fans had it. It's a tie right now between the main event, like you said, and Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Then
No.
Then Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke. Then a tie with the Revival and the B Team and Daniel Bryan and The Miz. But yeah, it's Reigns and Lesnar. I'm sorry. That just didn't work. Now, let's talk about the non-NXT call-ups, because I think some of us thought we were going to get them Monday and Tuesday, because we had talked about it last week that, we might get them, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised or disappointed?
I love both.
I would say I'm a little surprised, only because it almost seems like tradition for that to happen, but I think WWE caught on with that, where it's like, oh, they're expecting us to bring up new talent, after a major show. And in this situation, they didn't. But I could understand where you're coming from, being, that it was a disappointment. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely a disappointment.
And let's talk about the end of Raw for Monday night, real quick.
Shield reuniting.
Very smartly, I thought.
Yes.
Very smart move on their part. Because I didn't expect it. I really didn't. And the way they did it, because it looked like Braun was going to cash in. And he didn't, so Braun still has the contract. Because that match was never official. So, I imagine the Shield are going to be the good guys here?
Mm.
Or would they be I don't know.
I no clue.
Yeah. I really don't know on that one. Now, if you are in WWE offices, you got some good news because this week's Raw got more viewers than the MTV Video Music Awards did.
I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not either because, we talked about this earlier. The VMAs, MTV's not focused on music videos anymore. They're really not.
Because my Anaconda won't. My Anaconda won't.
I mean, all they do is reality shows.
Yeah.
I've been catfished, or Jersey Shore, Florida Bama Shore, teen pregnant mom 17. But no, WWE should feel proud that they, won in a ratings battle against a show that a lot of people do watch every year. They should feel really good for themselves. Alright, I want to bring up one more thing, and then I think we'll start wrapping it up.
Okay.
I know you and I, we both watch videos on YouTube.
Yes.
Do you watch Up, Up, Down, Down?
I do.
Alright. Did you at all, by chance, this week, watch Jack Gallagher doing a challenge against Makaze, which is one of his favorite words for it. Oh, God, it's so funny.
Really good?
So, it's 5 parts. So what they do is they play UFC.
Okay.
And they take, I think it was called the Death Nut Challenge. I think that was the name of the product. So, whoever lost each fight had to eat the numbered peanut that was in the package. So, let's say let's go to the first fight. Whoever lost had to eat peanut number 1.
Okay.
And then the further they went, the hotter the peanut got.
Okay.
This is one of those do not try at home kids kind of things. But it was really funny to watch. I recommend everybody watching those videos just for the reactions of what happens when the peanuts are eaten. I'm not going to spoil anything because I want you guys to see them. It's really funny. They are really funny. Oh my God. That's why I don't eat peanuts. I've never been a peanuts person. I mean, I've been a peanuts comic guy, but... Do you like hot foods? Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
Do they even have hot foods in Norway?
I love hot food, of course.
Okay. Well, after you watch these videos, I don't know if you will or not.
Okay.
Remains to be seen. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, let's start wrapping it up for this week. We had a lot to discuss. Follow the show on Twitter, Wrestling Show 11. Fro, where can they follow you?
Fro is me on Twitter.
Alright, and you can follow me on Twitter at House of Bill. Join our Facebook group, That Wrestling Show Fan Group. I'm telling you, the numbers keep going up and up and up. It is amazing. Hopefully we can get more people to join. Just type that in the search bar, That Wrestling Show Fan Group, and you're right there. And if you can't find us, don't worry. I put the link in the description of each episode so you guys can find us. Check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, and please visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Your support will help out this show and other shows that I do as well. Fro, besides discussing SummerSlam, what else did you guys discuss this week on Another Digital Citizen?
We talked about the CIA controlling your mind with TV. Or the Mockingbird
That's believable.
conspiracy.
That's believable. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. This week on Shark's Pond, I reviewed the classic, this is truly a classic South Park episode, Christian Rock Hard. Truly a classic episode of South Park. Next week, we're going to preview All In. Cannot wait for that show, September 1st. That's going to be a fun show, I think.
Me either.
So normally we would end the show telling you guys to wrestle on, but I think we should end it differently this week, Fro, because we lost one of the great television icons, the one and only Robin Leach. So until next week, have a good weekend and have champagne wishes and caviar dreams.